once again, the final moment before lights out and the charge down to turn 1. Who will come out on top at Paul Ricard today? We'll find out soon as the French Grand Prix gets underway. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners, 6 left and 9 right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The two halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the Chicane Nord. And watch out for the drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. Here we are then at the Circuit Paul Ricard in France, the 10th race of the 2020 Formula One season. And the standings are starting to take some kind of shape, Ant.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your big three jostling for position at the top, so no surprises there. A little less predictable in the midfield, though you could make an argument for AlphaTauri underperforming somewhat.
The two AlphaTauri drivers denying each other points, perhaps. Well, it's all to race for and a lot of season left ahead of us, so let's see how it all pans out. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Norris, Vettel, Sainz, and Lance Stroll, Ocon, Ackermann, Devon Butler, and Albon, Magnussen, Raikkonen, George Russell, and Aiden Jackson, Giovinazzi, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And today I'm back with another Breaking Point video. And in this one, we're in Chapter 3, I do believe. Of course, last time the Chinese Grand Prix, where we collided with Casper Ackermann again when Casper Ackermann sent it down the inside, went for a clumsy move, and that proved costly for ourselves, dropping down the order. We made our way back up into the points. But now, here we are, I think this is round number 10, it was saying, of the 2020 season. And we are here at Paul Ricard. Have to say, a little bit out of position for an AlphaTauri's Aiden Jackson. He's got a lot of work to do, and we've got to beat, I think, both Renaults and both McLarens. Those McLarens are quite high up the grid, so it's going to be a difficult race. If you guys didn't watch last video, go and check that out. That was an exciting one. Returning to Shanghai, we've got 13 laps of the circuit, and we've got two choices, of course, 2 one-stops. You can either go 6 laps on the softs, 6 laps on the mediums, or 6 laps on the softs and 6 laps on the hards. I definitely think that's going to be the better strategy, to go soft to medium. What if we pitted there? If we pit on lap 7, that's going to be a tad slower. Thought that. What if we pit on lap 5? That's going to be a tad slower. So we're going to go with the 6 laps to 7 laps, starting on that lovely soft compound of tyre, and then finishing on the mediums. So that is the strategy. Let's have a look at the grid. Well then, the grid, interesting, of course, Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. I wouldn't have expected Leclerc to be there. Ferrari had a bit of a disaster last year. But there's your Renault, Daniel Ricciardo, P6. Norris is P7. Sainz is P9. And Ocon's P11. Our teammate Casper's P12. And we're all the way down in P18. So it's going to be a lot of work there. Interesting to see Albon so far down the order in that Red Bull. I know he certainly wasn't the fastest last year, but he certainly wasn't that slow. Perez nicely up there, Sebastian Vettel sandwiched in that midfield fight, and then of course Lance Stroll P10. So that's the grid. We're going to get into it, and we've got a lot of work to do in these 13 laps around Paul Ricard. Here we go then, the first standing start in the Breaking Point series at France. 5 red lights, they're out, a short hold, and away we go for the 2020 French Grand Prix. And we get a fantastic start. Flying ahead, we've got Alex Albon here. You can see our teammate Casper in front. Devon Butler's past him, and I think it's 3 wide. It is 3 wide through this first section. So we're a little bit all over the place there. You're going to get the move on Casper, our teammate. Then, of course, Esteban Ocon. The first of the target cars is in front. as we just try to close off so we don't get an incident with him. Can we get firmly ahead of our teammate? Yes, we can. And you can see the target drivers in front. You can see we've got Ocon, then Butler Stroll, the other Renault of Ricciardo, and then the target McLarens, and we're going to be able to hopefully get one of our targets now, potentially. Esteban Ocon, we've got Devon Butler there, and Ocon gets past Butler. We should be able to get past Butler too, and follow Ocon through to Lance Stroll in front. He's in that BWT Racing Point, which is of course these days the Aston Martin. Really nice to be doing sort of full race, of course 25%, but you don't really want a 50% race distance in the Breaking Point series, in my opinion. I quite like this, you know, you get a standing start, we get to go from the start, and we get 13 laps to make up some positions, and on the first lap, and we're already close to the first target driver. Well, very close, 4/10 the gap to him. A really great start for ourselves. I'm loving these F2 cars. Generally, Paul Ricard, one of my best circuits. You know, I haven't done that much at Abu Dhabi as we're going to get close to Ocon, or Albert Park in Australia, or Shanghai International Circuit. So I'm really at a track I'm pretty good at here. I thought about it. Ocon, though, closes us off as we looked for the move, but now we're going to go for it. We've got the acceleration out the corner. We're using that ERS. Are we going to get the move done? We're pretty close to him. A little bit side by side. Through this section, we're going to send it down the inside line. We get the move done, and behind, Alex Albon in the Red Bull is making his way up the order from a disappointing position on the grid. So there we go, up into P11. So much drama already in this one, and so many overtakes. You can't take your eyes off it, as behind, Albon's going to go for the move on Ocon. It's not really important to us as long as we stay ahead of Albon. And, well, Ocon actually. Albon, fine, come past, mate, as long as you can get past all the other target cars. But Ocon forced to defend, he drops back, and now we can hunt for 10th place. Can we go for a move down that outside line? Nope. It's pretty close though. Really nice close battling so far in this Grand Prix as we head a little bit off track here. Can we go for a cut back on Lance Stroll? No, we can't, but we're going nicely in the sectors at the moment. We're going to see if we can have a look as we take out a bollard. Stroll pretty close to us in front. So yeah, this is round 10, so we certainly skipped a bit in the 2020 season. We've gone from round 1 to 4 to 10, and apparently Aiden Jackson's had some rather disappointing results, and I'm not going to let this one be a disappointing result. We are pretty close to Lance now, so we're certainly catching up to him.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available.
Perfect, DRS has been enabled. That's really going to help us. We really need that extra boost of energy as we're going to be able to go for the move of Lance Stroll before we even get to a drag reduction opportunity, as it gets a little bit pear-shaped through there. A little bit of a tap with him, and in front you can see another of the target cars as we get the first of what will probably be a few. Warning for exceeding track limits. It's so easy to do that here at France. But there we go, we can catch up to Ricciardo. We don't have DRS, so hopefully Sainz can slow him up for us. Well then, we are catching up to Ricciardo, Sainz, and then Sainz's teammate Lando Norris. They're in front, and we've got to try and get a bit closer to Ricciardo. We don't get DRS this lap, but we are closing in on him because of this lovely
the pit window. You'll be on
long
mediums.
train. I will be on those lovely yellow marked mediums, I certainly will be. That curb's always an interesting one back there at turn 2. It really does sort of launch you onto the exit curb, which is kind of nice though. I quite like being launched onto that exit curb for some reason. And now we could be able to go for an overtake into the chicane on Ricciardo, despite the lovely long train that has formed. As we go purple in the first sector, now we're in clean air. We are flying at the moment. Can we go for a move on him? And we get such a run out of that corner. We're going to get DRS on him, and we're going to comfortably get through. I do think I can move fully across now. There's not an opportunity to go for the move on Sainz there though, so not too bad. And certainly we've had a bit of luck so far as we're going to catch up to Sainz. We've had quite a lot of luck so far in terms of the positioning of the opponents. You know, the McLarens and the Renaults haven't really got that far up the field. I think Norris might have dropped back a bit as we're going side by side with Danny Rick through this section, as we're going a little bit too deep there, and we're going to... Sorry, not Danny Rick, Sainz. You do get mixed up, don't you, these days? Danny Rick at McLaren these days, but of course he was at Renault as we nearly lose the car. A little bit messy. We're going to want to stay close to Sainz, see if we can get some DRS down the main straight, as I think Ricciardo's trying to come back at us. We can't take the line we want through there. Impacts us a little bit down this straight, and I think we're pitting this lap, or is it next lap? Onto, I think it's next lap.
Now. Keep it up.
And actually, I haven't realised it, but there's quite a bit of tyre wear, as Ocon, I think, is ahead of Albon. I think those two are fighting back there, and now we're really catching up to Carlos Sainz here. But not an opportunity to go for an overtake. We're going to have to look for it into the chicane. Plenty of excitement and drama in this Grand Prix so far, and I feel like I'm just tiptoeing around them at the moment. Certainly haven't been in much clean air yet, but plenty of exciting overtakes at the moment as we get DRS. We've got the DRS, we're right on the back of Sainz. We keep getting that fantastic run off that corner, and we should be able to go for the move. It's a bit all over the place as Norris locks up in front, and that got a bit messy as we're going to be forced to rejoin the track behind Sainz. That got messy. Lucky I didn't break my front wing, but him locking up cost us. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Is there space down the inside line there? No. I was forced to back off. Don't want to take out the McLaren of Sainz. He didn't do anything wrong, you know. It was a Norris's lock-up, but caught us a bit off guard. We didn't lose our front wing here. Can we go for the cutback on Sainz? It's a bit of a tight corner to go for an overtake as this one. We're going to go very deep into it. We're going to go for the acceleration out, and we get the move sealed. I think the stamp and sent it. And up into P8. Now we've got Norris in front. Perez is certainly holding up Vettel. I think he's got more pace. Maybe not the pace of Leclerc, but he's got more pace. And now then, we're going to be able to go for the move on Lando Norris. We've got DRS. He's also got DRS. Are we going to be able to go for it?
So push now.
No, we're not. Forced to back off. And yeah, there is going to be pit stops this lap. We're coming in onto the mediums as we get the run off the corner again. I'm loving the exits at Paul Ricard in these cars from 2020. They feel different to the 2021 cars, and we're up past everyone we need to get past in this Grand Prix. We have done it. Certainly wasn't what I was expecting, but we have done it.
No need to worry about tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
And now we're going to be able to chase down Seb Vettel, but there you go, we've done it. We've got what we needed. And now Vettel's going to go for the move on Perez here, but then backs out of it, and that has literally just invited us to come along. Thank you very much, guys. And now we get the acceleration on Vettel. Can we go for a move into this corner? If we get the overlap, we can go down that inside line. Yes, we can. That's the move on Vettel. Dispatched that one. Then we're going to be coming in this lap into the pits. Perez is with us as we're going to try to go for the move into it, and we've got it done. Oh, all over the place. There's contact. I don't know if that's the place you want to go for an overtake, but why not have some action in the pit lane? Who doesn't like action in the pit lane? As we're going to come in, and our pit box is just before Racing Point's pit box. Who's going to get out in front?
You'll be racing on the exit.
We're going to get out in front. And that's cost Perez a few positions. He's dropped down the order. Going to be racing on the pit exit. And we are P11.
No scheduled pit stops.
Of course, Ocon is P4, but he still is yet to pit because his teammate Ricciardo did pit. And I don't know if the McLaren, the McLaren of Norris didn't pit, so he's still sat out there. And they might be hampered a little bit because these fresh mediums are going to be pretty nice, and they do feel pretty tasty, fresh mediums at the moment. As we're a little bit messy in the first sector this lap, so we've just got to be careful. Don't want to drop too far back towards Vettel in the Ferrari. So now we get a push, go forwards, and try to just attack and put some decent laps. Here we go then, lap 7 onto 8. And the other drivers have decided to pit some of them onto the hards. Ocon on the hards. That's a very unusual decision. And that extra lap we did on the lovely mediums, the extra lap we've done, pitting a lap earlier, has actually helped us towards Vettel's teammate, Leclerc, who is in P4, and then Bottas in P3. We are flying here. I mean, I was pretty sure I got the difficulty right for for the last 2 Grand Prix, but we are somehow got incredible pace here. We go purple in Sector 1. We're chasing down Charles Leclerc. We could be able to go for a move here. Potentially. No, we're going to not be able to go for a move, but we could try and set ourselves up for one soon. Because we get a better acceleration off the corner, but then get a little bit of oversteer. That hampers us. And we're not going to be able to go for a move, or are we? Are we? Purple in the middle sector. We're flying here. We're going to go down the inside line. We get the move done.
Great maneuver.
Fantastic.
You made it look easy.
That's P4. And we were just meant to finish ahead of the McLarens, who, one of which is P7. So we're absolutely flying here. And now Bottas is only just in front, then Verstappen, and then Hamilton. This is some very tasty pace at the moment. Very tasty pace. Just got to catch up to them. And then hopefully going for maybe even get on the podium, Aiden, because Bottas is only just in front, and I think him on that strategy,
lap of the race so far.
that probably, I think he will have had to have come, yeah, he'll have to go an extra lap on those softs. Verstappen's away and closer to Hamilton now, so plenty of changes in terms of the order here, and the Ferraris P4 and 5 behind ourselves. No, P5 and 6, sorry. We're P4, and we are chasing Bottas down again. We are flying on these mediums. Not in traffic, clean air. Can we go and dispatch Bottas at some point, maybe this lap? You can see the field is very spread. Our teammate quite a way back. I think he's still defending from Devon Butler in the Haas, as we get pretty close to Valtteri Bottas, who's in front. As we're going to go for the overtake, are we going to go for it on the exit? We're going to get the slipstream potentially down the straight. Well, we're not, because we're already wheel to wheel. Using that ERS, this is going to be a comfortable overtake into this right-hander. There we go. Cleanly dispatched. And then we've got Verstappen just over 3/10 in front. And then Hamilton about 7 seconds. I mean, sorry, Verstappen 3 seconds in, about, well, just over 3 seconds in front. And then Hamilton about 7 at the moment. As it brightens up here in Paul Ricard, the sun's come out for the last 4 laps of this Grand Prix. Let's see how much we can push and maybe get towards Max Verstappen, who's in the Red Bull. 11 then, and we've got Verstappen
laps of fuel remaining
in front. We're chasing down him. We've had some very decent laps. We've still got the fastest lap. We've gone better than our personal best in the first sector, but I think someone else has gone quickest, so I don't know who that is, because we seem to be also catching on Lewis Hamilton. So we're going along very nicely here, and you can see the McLaren still leading that long train. So Verstappen in front. Can we go for the overtake into this one? Well, we're not. Can we go for the overtake into this corner is the question, but it's a bit of a difficult one. We can get a good run through it, but then just no space. We're not close enough, but we could go for the exit. No, not really getting a significant amount on the exit, as we're forced to really slam on the brakes quite a bit there. Nearly go into the back of him. Pretty close through here. And I don't try to go for the overtake there, but can we go for the overtake in the final corner? We've already got DRS. We might as well dispatch him here. Nicely done. In fact, very nicely done there.
Good job.
Dispatched him well. And we're up into P2 somehow. On the penultimate lap. Let's see how much we can push now to get closer to Hamilton. And you can see Verstappen. The AI are so slow in the first sector around here. And really, you know, this is sort of like an odd one for me, because these 2020 cars, in my opinion, handle nicer than the 2021 cars around tracks like Paul Ricard. Because around here, this car...
Manage your tyres.
This car is wonderful around here at the moment. Absolutely loving the experience. It's fantastic.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
It's absolutely, I'm just loving these F1 2020 cars. They handle, I feel like they deliberately try to make them handle differently, and they feel actually a little bit smoother. Then again, I just really like Paul Ricard. I think it's a really fun track to drive. And now we're chasing down Hamilton. We'll see if how close we can get to him by the end of this race. Of course, we're not setting purple sectors at the moment, so someone must be, but they're not going quickest, so a little bit odd there. unless it, because the cars that are just sort of around us certainly aren't going quicker, unless there's a Alfa Romeo back there, or a Williams that is, flying when it gets in clean air. I don't know, but onto the last lap we head. Not the cleanest of Sector 2s and Sector 3s, and we've got one lap to see how close we can get to Lewis Hamilton, who is just go then. We're coming towards the end of the race. I've been putting in a lap of me life to really at the moment, and we are on the last lap. The last few corners we should go quickest again with this beauty of a lap, and we've really caught up to Hamilton. What a race, plenty of fun.
Yes, 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 we're on the podium. Good job this weekend, great drive, thank you.
Another superb French Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Business as usual for the big three, but a bit of a reshuffle in the midfield here in France.
That's certainly much better from AlphaTauri. Frankly, they should be in the mix more often. On a good day, they're as good as anyone in that midfield pack.
And they've certainly proved it today. Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
Aiden, congratulations! You got on the podium. That's a fantastic result for both you and the team. How are you feeling?
Oh, lovely question there for once. Lovely, because usually we don't get nice questions from the press, especially in career mode, but yeah. It's a team effort. I'm just the one behind the wheel. I would go down well with the team principal.
Yeah, it's a team effort. I'm just the one behind the wheel. It was an amazing result today, and I think everyone deserves it. I'm just pleased I could bring it home for them.
Well, it's such a great result, especially since it's your first season in Formula One. Would you say you found your feet now since the jump to F1?
Ah, righty, okay. Interesting question. Well, you can't really say that one after round 1 and 4. The result today shows no one can handle F1 code as well as F2-1. I think change is always different, but I think I'm settling in.
There's always going to be hurdles. And look, you never know what's around the corner. Change is always difficult, but I think I'm settling in. The team seems happy at least.
So there's no current tensions within the team. We've all seen that you and Casper have locked horns so far this season. Is that something that's now behind you?
Well, no comments, not exactly what you want. There's still a problem between us. It's not from... I think there's always going to be a settling in period. Doesn't matter who you paired up with. Yeah.
I think there's always going to be a settling in period. It doesn't matter who you're paired up with. You've got to have a strong character to do what we do. We may have our differences, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Thank you for your time.
Well then, what a fun race that was. I really enjoyed it. And well, before I continue, we've got a phone call from Brian.
Brian.
Aiden, just so you know, there's a full team meeting in 20 minutes.
No worries.
We just want to review our strategy while the race is still fresh in our minds.
Right, okay. I'll see you there.
Listen, while you're on, I just wanted to say that was some solid driving out there today. I'm impressed.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Brian.
Put it this way, it's been noticed. Well done, kid. I'll see you in the meeting.
So yeah, as I was saying, that was really fun race. There, I enjoyed it, loving Paul Ricard, and now it's Aiden's mum.
Hey, Mom.
Hello, love. Just calling to say well done, as usual. You okay?
Thanks, Mum. Yeah, I'm good. Real good. I think I delivered today.
I thought so. And I think the neighbors probably did too. I couldn't stop shouting.
Oh, not again.
I'm so proud of you, Aiden.
Hey, it's Silverstone soon.
So does that mean you'll be home for a few days?
Probably. I'll try and get over for a day or two, either side of race weekend.
You know, Silverstone was always your dad's favorite track.
I know. You're still coming to the race, right?
Do you really think I'd miss out on the VIP treatment? Of course I'm coming. I just wish it wasn't on my own, you know?
Yeah, I know, but I'll be there. And I can't wait to see you.
Me too. Anyway, I won't keep you. I imagine you want to go and celebrate. Well done again. Love you.
Love you too, Mum. Speak soon.
Oh, I love those phone calls to his mum. Lovely. So yeah, really fun race, you know, getting up the order from a disappointing position, 13 laps around Paul Ricard. Flew by, absolutely loving Paul Ricard. Jackson finding form in France, that's definitely the way I would put it. And Vettel announcing Ferrari departure, of course, yes, that happened last season. But what a fun race. Really enjoyed it around there. No drama, really, to talk about. But yeah, a really good, fun race. Great to do. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Plenty of exciting overtakes. Plenty of exciting moves and battles on track, which you've got to love. Let's have a look over at the social outstanding driving by the AlphaTauri rookie. This may lose me some followers, but I think I'm going to change my handle to Aiden Fan. Just wow. Han Fan 1044. Whoa, that lap from Jackson was a beauty. Those extra points all add up, yes. What a race. What a race. I really enjoyed that. Brian Doyle, I forgot to mention, I gave an interview to Trackside a couple of weeks ago. I had a great time doing it. Maybe you've seen it. Colin, the guy, does it mention he'd been trying to get in touch with you for a chat. You might want to have a word with your PA, as he says he's not heard much back. Anyway, I gave him your email address. You can thank me later. Ha ha ha. Aidan, just caught up on your interview with Claire. I want to say thanks for being so diplomatic when I ask about how things are with Casper. It really helps the image of the team, you being able to field questions like that. And makes my job so much easier, Brian. And from Jeff Nelson, what a result. Really great driving today, Aidan. Really, really great. Just got to say, seeing you get the podium is just fantastic. And the points are pretty welcome, too. You're driving with such confidence at the moment, and I'm really happy to be the voice in your ear. I meant to say at the debrief, but it's great to see how you're improving, and even better to be a part of it. Well, then again, it's all anyone on the team can talk about, Jeff. Well, there we go. Really nice race at Paul Ricard's Aiden Jackson for AlphaTauri. I really enjoyed that. Really fun one. Battling up the field, getting loads of overtakes. Of course, great to have actually a full race, you know, starting, and then of course you get to have that pit stop in it. Really nice. Really enjoyed it. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But thanks a lot for watching, and catch me next time in this series for the next chapter in Breaking Point.